Good morning and welcome back to the Alpha Insider Show. Today we have a big show in front of us. I hope that you are ready. Today we will be diving into a beautiful mind, Dr. Bak's mind, with 174 books written in 7 years. You heard right. 174 books in 7 years. Who does that? Dr. Bak does. A little different today, as we won't be diving into one specific book, but instead we will surf his library, his entire body of work, to understand the scope of his work and mind. I can't wait to start. Albert, Isabel, lead the way.
All right, so today we're diving into the world of someone pretty extraordinary.
Dr. Bak.
Dr. Bak.
You've probably heard him: dentist, entrepreneur, author of like a zillion books.
He's incredible, right?
But today, we're really trying to understand this whole alpha universe thing he's got going on.
And it's fascinating because it's not your typical personal branding kind of thing.
Right.
He's created a whole movement around this alpha lifestyle idea.
Okay.
But it covers everything from dentistry to entrepreneurship to even spirituality.
Whoa. Okay. That's quite the mix.
It is.
So what ties it all together? What's the core philosophy that holds this alpha universe together?
At its heart, it's about empowering people to reach their full potential.
Okay.
But not in a way you might expect.
Okay.
He combines all these different things: business, self-help, even mythology.
And it's all connected by this belief that everyone has this alpha within them just waiting to be unleashed.
Okay, we've got over 100 books written in just a few years about leadership mindset, dental health, even fictional fantasy adventures.
Yeah.
Where do we even start with all of that?
Well, I think it comes down to his belief in this untapped potential within all of us.
Okay.
And his work is like this roadmap to tap into that potential,
Right.
to harness our strengths, our purpose, to become leaders in our own right.
I'm really interested in this whole inner alpha idea.
Yeah.
We hear that in a lot of self-help circles, but what makes Dr. Bak's approach stand out?
For him, it's not just about outward success, it's about inner transformation.
Okay.
He's huge on self-awareness, understanding
Yeah.
your strengths, but also your weaknesses,
Yeah.
and figuring out what makes you tick.
So it's not just about climbing the ladder, it's about building a ladder that works for you.
Exactly.
And he even wrote this book, One Self, all about reinventing yourself.
Yes.
Which a lot of self-help books touch on. So what's unique about his approach to reinvention?
I think the key is he connects it to knowing yourself.
Okay.
It's not about fitting into someone else's idea of success, but becoming the best, most authentic you.
And what I find interesting is he doesn't present himself as the only expert.
Yeah.
He has this whole community of alpha authors and leaders contributing to his books, sharing these ideas.
Absolutely.
A lot of self-help gurus, they position themselves as like the solitary expert.
It's true.
So how does this collaborative model affect the advice and support offered within Dr. Bak's community?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
You know, you've got people like Dr. Paul Ouellette, Dr. Julio Reinafarge, even Dr. Bak's own son, William Bak, is an author.
Oh, wow.
And it really highlights that growth doesn't happen in isolation.
Yeah.
He seems to really thrive on this back and forth exchange of knowledge,
All right.
which then encourages his readers to do the same.
Yeah, and he takes these big abstract ideas about personal growth and makes them stick.
He does.
He uses metaphors, stories, even fictional narratives.
Yeah, it's incredible. He's a master communicator.
Right.
He understands that philosophy can be intimidating.
Oh, yeah.
So he makes it concrete, relatable through storytelling.
Okay, I've got to ask about this Legends of Destiny series.
Oh, yeah.
This is like a space opera, right?
It is.
Angels, gods, humans fighting for destiny.
Yeah, like a blend of mythology and self-help.
What kind of aha moments do you get from a space opera?
It's pretty remarkable. He weaves in these profound messages about leadership, self-discovery, even the nature of power,
Wow.
all within this fantastical narrative.
Okay.
He sneaks in these insightful observations about being human.
Yeah.
And because it's entertaining, it really makes you think differently.
It's like he's gamifying personal growth.
He is.
Make it fun, make it engaging, and the wisdom just kind of hits you.
Exactly. He's not trying to lecture you.
Right.
He wants to draw you in with a story that sparks your imagination.
And he's doing it across multiple genres.
He is. It's impressive.
So speaking of impressive, you mentioned he writes about leadership too.
Yes.
Tell me about Alpha Mastermind, the superhero syndrome.
That book is a perfect example of how he uses relatable archetypes to explore complex themes. He uses the superhero analogy to talk about the pressure and expectations on leaders, achievers, anyone who stands out.
So it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of space adventures and superheroes, But for our listeners who want practical advice, what can they actually take away from Dr. Bak's work?
That's what's so great. He doesn't just leave you with these big ideas.
Okay.
He gives you concrete steps, advice on time management, networking, even branding yourself.
Right.
And he uses real examples from his own life.
Yeah.
So it feels achievable, not just aspirational.
He walks the walk.
He does.
This is a man who wrote and published a book in 6 days.
6 days.
How to write a book in 30 days.
That's Dr. Bak in a nutshell.
He's not just talking the talk.
No.
He's proving it's possible.
Exactly. Constantly pushing boundaries, breaking records,
Yeah.
embodying this anything is possible energy.
Okay, so we're seeing this pattern here, blending inspiration with practical advice.
Definitely.
And that goes beyond his books.
It does.
He's built this whole community around his work.
He has.
So tell me more about them and what role they play in the Alpha universe.
This is where the shared learning and collective growth comes in.
Okay.
He thrives on collaboration.
Right.
And the Alpha community shows that it's not just authors, it's doctors, entrepreneurs, coaches.
Wow.
All these high achievers drawn to his philosophy.
So it's like a think tank for personal and professional development,
It really is.
which is powerful because it shows you don't have to do this alone.
Exactly.
So how does this collaborative spirit actually work within the community?
It's a support system for success built on mentorship. He really emphasizes surrounding yourself with people who challenge and inspire you.
And he co-wrote a book about that with one of his mentees, Coach Mel.
Right? He did mentorship, the power of sharing.
Didn't Coach Mel break one of Dr. Bak's world records?
That's the amazing thing. He celebrates the success of others.
Oh,
He doesn't see it as a threat.
that's rare.
It is.
So he's mentoring his competition.
He sees mentorship as a two-way street,
Okay.
a way to share wisdom and learn from those you're guiding.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
So we're seeing this emphasis on community, on shared learning, this rising tide lifts all boats idea.
Definitely.
It's not just about you, it's about empowering everyone.
Exactly. It really is a different way of looking at things.
It is. It's refreshing.
And it connects to this idea of networking with a heart, which he talks about.
Okay, I've heard that phrase, but what does it actually mean in practice? What does networking with a heart look like?
He's really clear that it's not about collecting business cards
Right.
or just using people to get ahead.
Okay.
It's about building genuine relationships
Yeah,
where both people benefit and grow.
I like that.
He calls it a form of service,
Oh, wow.
using your network and your influence to help others and make things better for everyone.
So it's interesting. He ties it back to service because it challenges that traditional idea of networking as this selfish thing.
Yeah, it's not about what you can get, it's about what you can give.
Right. It's like an extension of his mentorship philosophy.
Exactly.
Finding ways to empower and support people, even professionally.
And it all comes back to his belief that real success isn't just about your own achievements. It's about the impact you have on the world around you.
Okay, so a more purpose-driven approach.
Yes, exactly.
And that seems to be a recurring theme throughout his work.
It is.
It's not about climbing the ladder for the sake of climbing. It's about building a ladder that leads to a better world.
And he doesn't just talk about it. He lives it.
Right.
He's a big advocate for reform in dentistry,
Oh, really?
making dental care more accessible and affordable for everyone.
Wow. Okay.
He even has a whole series of books called Alpha Dentistry, focused on revolutionizing the field.
It's cool how he combines his professional expertise with his passion for social change.
Yeah, it's inspiring.
He's not just talking, he's using his platform to actually do something.
He walks the walk.
And it goes beyond dentistry, too.
It does.
He's written about cryptocurrency, for example.
Yes. Crypto to save the world.
He sees it as a way to empower people economically,
Right, exactly. Particularly in developing countries.
leveling the playing field a bit.
He's always looking for innovative solutions to big problems.
It's like he sees the potential for positive change everywhere.
He really does.
So we've talked about his books, his community, his advocacy,
Yeah.
but we can't forget he's also a successful entrepreneur himself.
That's right. He's the founder and CEO of MDEX & Co., a dental company known for being innovative and socially responsible.
So he's not just writing the playbook, he's living it.
Exactly.
And not just in terms of profits, but building a company that reflects his values.
He even wrote a book about time management. Timing. Time management on steroids.
I'm going to need a whole bookshelf just for Dr. Bak's books at this rate.
Yeah.
But that's what's so compelling about him. He walks the talk in every area of his life.
He does his family, his businesses, his community involvement.
Speaking of family, he wrote a series of books with his son, didn't he?
Yes, the Book of Legends.
What's that about?
It's really a journey they've taken together as father and son both being authors.
Oh, wow.
And it shows how much he values lifelong learning and growth.
Yeah, it's not a destination, it's a journey.
Right. And he's modeling that for his son and his readers.
And speaking of modeling, he also encourages people to break world records.
He does.
He even wrote a book about it, World Record Maker.
Yep. He sees it as a way to push past your limits and show that anything is possible.
It's about embodying that anything is possible mindset.
And proving it to yourself and to the world.
Now, for our listeners who might be feeling a little overwhelmed with all of Dr. Bak's work.
Laughs.
It
is a lot.
Where would you recommend they start?
That's a tough one. There's so many good ones.
Right.
But I'd say Alpha Mastermind. The Superhero Syndrome is a great introduction.
Okay.
It explains his core philosophies in a really relatable way.
So it's a good foundation.
Exactly. And then once you connect with his message, you can explore other areas that interest you.
And he has a book about building the perfect team too, doesn't he?
Power Play.
Yeah.
How to build the perfect team. It's fantastic for anyone who wants to improve their leadership skills.
And build stronger teams.
Right? He talks about communication, shared vision, and creating an environment where everyone feels valued.
So it all circles back to collaboration.
It does.
And the power of working together.
Exactly. It's not about being the smartest person in the room.
Right.
It's about creating a space where everyone can shine.
I like that.
Recognizing that we all have something unique to offer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so different from that lone wolf idea of success. You know, this idea that you have to do it all on your own.
Right.
He's all about community mentorship, bringing people up with you as you succeed.
It's recognizing that success is a team effort.
Absolutely.
We're not meant to go through it alone.
Exactly. And that's a message I think we need now more than ever.
Yeah.
The world's facing some big challenges that need us to work together.
Right.
We need collaboration, innovation, breaking down those walls between us.
And Dr. Bak, he seems to be great at breaking down those walls.
He really is.
Whether it's in his writing, his businesses, his personal life.
Yeah. He brings together spirituality and entrepreneurship, social activism and personal growth.
That's right.
It's like he sees how interconnected everything is.
He does.
And he encourages us to see that too.
That's one of the things that makes his work so fascinating.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to tackle those big issues.
Right.
But he also gives you practical tools.
Yeah.
Strategies you can use to make a difference in your own life.
So it's about giving people the power to create change.
Exactly.
Both inside themselves and in the world around them.
It has to happen on both levels.
Right.
We have to work on ourselves.
Yeah.
But we also have to work on creating a better world, a fairer world.
And that takes us back to his main message.
It does.
The power of the individual to make a difference.
It's empowering. It's inspiring.
It is. It really is.
And I think we all need to hear that right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the world.
That's true.
But we also have a chance to shape the future like never before.
We do.
And he even encourages people to break world records.
Right.
Not for the recognition,
Right.
but to push past what we think is possible to show that anything is possible.
It's about embodying the anything is possible attitude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Showing it to yourself and to everyone else.
So for our listeners who want to explore this alpha universe themselves,
Yeah.
where should they start?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
He's written so much it can feel overwhelming.
Right.
But I think the best thing is to just ask yourself, what am I most curious about?
What speaks to me right now?
Exactly. He's got something for everyone.
And his website, drbaknguyen.com, is a great place to start.
Oh, it's
He's
fantastic.
got a list of all his books, descriptions, reviews, even sample chapters.
And he's really active on social media, too.
He is.
Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
LinkedIn,
Yeah.
always sharing interesting things, behind-the-scenes stuff about his work.
And he actually responds to people, too.
He does.
He wants people to reach out, ask questions, share their own experiences.
It's a really great way to connect with him and the whole community.
So if you had to pick one thing, the core of Dr. Bak's message, what would it be?
That you are capable of so much more than you realize.
Okay.
You have the power to create a life that means something.
Yeah.
A life full of purpose and joy.
I love that.
And you have a responsibility to use that power to make the world a better place.
That's powerful.
It is.
And something I think we can all agree on.
Absolutely. We all have that potential to be alphas, to make a difference, to leave things better than we found them.
That's a great note to end on. Thank you so much for taking us on this journey through the Alpha universe.
It's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And to our listeners, keep exploring, keep growing, keep reaching for your full potential. Until next time, keep diving deep.
I am speechless. I can't even begin to understand where to start. What impresses me is that it's a real story, a real person in real life. If that was fiction, we would all say that it is not possible. But above all of that, what I like is the empowerment theme. Just like Dr. Bak, I too can grow beyond imagination. I want Dr. Bak to be my mentor. If you have that desire too, I will share the link to his mentoring website. Reach out and grow. This is the Alpha Insider Show, on air every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. I am Aaron. Welcome to the Alpha.